Okay, Katrina, from the mental clarity that I had when I was like going through my walk-in sessions is that, a lot of Caucasian women, the European Caucasian women who grew up in Louisiana, they are racist by nature due to the racist propaganda that they get on the internet, which is from the age of misinformation. So the age of misinformation, meaning like Caucasian women who grew up in Louisiana that's in their 20s and 30s, they look at the racist propaganda on the internet about dark-skinned melanated men being inferior to European Caucasian ethnicity men, just to justify their own Caucasian woman racist nature in Louisiana. And we know the South regions of North America is like the most racist. They have the most racist Caucasian women in history, even more racist than Canada. And like the thing about the Caucasian women in Louisiana to be so racist towards dark-skinned melanated men due to the racist propaganda that they feed into on the internet, it's really sad. And a lot of these Caucasian women that's in their 20s and 30s who grew up in Louisiana that be so hateful and spiteful to dark-skinned melanated men, they have not grew up in the Jim Crow era. So it should be no reason why they're so racist to dark-skinned melanated men. Like, because I've dealt with that for so many years in Louisiana. I dealt with so much hateful, spiteful, racist energy from Caucasian women that's in their 20s and 30s in Louisiana. As a dark-skinned, melanated, African, Caribbean ethnicity male, Katrina, it's really hurtful. And another thing, a lot of these Caucasian European women who grew up in Louisiana that's in their 20s and 30s, they have a very, very, very spiteful, hateful energy within them. And it's like, they will show this energy to dark-skinned melanated men by giving fake smiles. Let me repeat this, Katrina. Like the Caucasian women that's in their 20s and 30s who grew up in Louisiana, when they see dark-skinned melanated ethnicity men, they will either give them fake smiles in person, or they'll just give a hateful, spiteful, racist energy to not look their way when they're crossing paths. That's how racist Caucasian women in Louisiana are, Katrina. It's very sad, yo. And I needed another European Caucasian woman to talk about this with, because you can feel where I'm coming from. It's very sad. It's very sad that in 2025, European Caucasian women who grew up in Louisiana are still racist towards dark-skinned melanated men. Like, how in the world can like Caucasian women who grew up in Denmark, Germany, Russia, Sweden, Switzerland, Serbia, how can like Caucasian women that grew up in those European places not be racist towards dark-skinned melanated people and be friends with dark-skinned melanated people, but the Caucasian women in Louisiana, they can't even be friends with dark-skinned melanated people? If you look at a Caucasian woman that's in her 20s and 30s who grew up in Louisiana, and you look at her social media, the Caucasian women who grew up in Louisiana and they rep Louisiana, they don't have no dark-skinned, melanated African Caribbean friends. All of their friends is Caucasians, which show you how racist they are in Louisiana. Louisiana's not like Southern hospitality, because if Southern hospitality exists in Louisiana, like a dark-skinned, melanated African Caribbean ethnicity men like myself, I will be able to be friends with so many Caucasian women and date and mate with so many Caucasian women, Katrina. So let me tell you this, Katrina, like me as a dark-skinned, melanated African Caribbean ethnicity male, I never had the experience of being friends with European Caucasian women in North America, let alone date and mate with European Caucasian women in North America. Because you know why? Majority of the Caucasian women in Louisiana have that racist nature about them due to the racist propaganda of misinformation on the internet that they see that they just believe and just run with, thinking that, oh, dark-skinned melanated men are inferior to Caucasian ethnicity men, when in reality, regardless of one's ethnicities, every ethnicity is equal. But the Caucasian women who grew up in Louisiana that's in their 20s and 30s, they don't believe that all ethnicities of men are equal. They think that, oh, Caucasian ethnicity men is the most superior men in the cosmos. And that is bullshit, because all ethnicities of men and women are equals. So it's like, these Caucasian women who grew up in Louisiana that still be racist towards dark-skinned melanated men in 2025 due to listening to racist propaganda on the internet to justify their racist nature, that is very sad. Because Caucasian women in Russia, Germany, Switzerland, Serbia, Sweden, they show so much love to dark-skinned melanated men. Like the Caucasian women that have a lot of love for dark-skinned melanated ethnicity men, Katrina, they always be the ones that wear African, Caribbean clothes. They always dance to, dance hall, reggae, and melanated people's music. And then you got the Caucasian women that show love to dark-skinned melanated men. They the ones who dress like hippies, or the ones that, dress like fairies and unicorns. And then you got the Caucasian women, the fourth Caucasian women that show love to dark-skinned melanated ethnicity men, is the ones that consider themselves extraterrestrials. They call themselves a soul being. You feel me? Those are the only four Caucasian women that show love to dark-skinned melanated ethnicity men, Katrina, is the ones who dress like fairies and unicorns, the ones that might have like a gothic element to them, the ones that consider themselves soulful vibrational extraterrestrials, the ones that dress like hippies, and the other ones is the ones that the Caucasian women that dress like African and Caribbeans. Those are the only ones. So Katrina, so let me tell you this. A lot of Caucasian women that's in their 20s and 30s in Louisiana, like they are so racist to the point where they would feel so ashamed to, walk around with a dark-skinned melanated man. But they will be feeling proud and almighty when they're walking around with another European Caucasian man. That's how racist a lot of Caucasian women in Louisiana are, that's in their 20s and 30s, and some that be in their 40s. It's very sad. It's sickening. Like, a lot of these Caucasian women, they feel like, they'll feel like, they're just like a disgrace if they just, hang out and be friends with dark-skinned melanated males. Like, what kind of thinking is that for Caucasian women in Louisiana? You see Caucasian women that's like out places far away from the south of North America. They don't think like this. They don't think like this in Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, Serbia, Denmark, Russia. The list goes on, in places that's not segregated.